Tensengron, after miraculously surviving his previous Dow report to command, had been tasked to redouble his efforts on his intelligence efforts against humans. A classical venue of board games was rife with what could only be described as several millennia of combat simulation. Children and adults partake in these matches of tactical skill, and in some specific games are granted ranks that appear to be noble titles. Master, Grandmaster, and the like. And, confusingly, these ranks are all held by civilians. As we well know, civilian humans can be drafted to serve, but it seems neither their competence in these war games, nor whatever title they might achieve, grants them any advanced rank. Just military geniuses that can hold a rifle. From the simplest to the most complex, I present a sampling of just some of these war games. Let us begin with human checkers. It is a game of two sides of equal strength of identical pieces. Each piece can move a space on the board unless an opponent is in front. Then it advances over it, and the defending piece is destroyed. This is an excellent simulation in lightning strikes. You have eliminated one opponent, yes, but are now in a dubiously secure salient, awaiting your opponent to do the same to you. Still worse, should a piece reach your enemy's back line, you are to king that piece, increasing its power. Similar to the goal of a lightning strike to the enemy command, that unit is now far more potent at mopping up the front lines, who have no orders and no morale. Once you mop up all of your opponent's pieces, you have won. This is a small-scale simulation that even humans, in their pupating years, can master. Next, I will discuss chess. Several thousand local cycles old, it predates humanity's invention of firearms. More sophisticated than checkers, it recognizes the disparate abilities of distinct units. Infantry, sappers, aerial scouts, ground scouts, armor, artillery, and spec ops have all different roles and capabilities. One must understand them all to win a battle, but chess teaches one when to intentionally sacrifice them. Each player has the same loadout. Each player has a king they are not legally allowed by the rules to intentionally put in harm's way. This may as well be the Division HQ. Through the distinct movements of each unit, the goal is to pin down the HQ to incite a surrender. The HQ doesn't even need to be taken. It must simply be under threat with no option of retreat. Checkmate, it is called, when the king is under threat and cannot escape. The king is not killed, nor the rest of his remaining pieces, unlike checkers. The match is forfeit. However, you may sacrifice any unit from your infantry pawns to your Spec Ops queen in defense of your HQ king, and by some rules be required to if you have any chance of victory. Indeed, in chess, if you view your position untenable, you may resign at any point. A more honourable simulation than the melee that is checkers. I have interviewed younglings as young as 7 local cycles old who are being vigorously educated in this game. As an aside, we will divert to games that humans actually do call war games outright. These are fairly open boards with terrain, cover, and rules on ranges of weapons, defensive abilities on armor, morale requirements, like a battle in miniature detail. One example from their late 2nd millennium is Warhammer 40k. Warhammer 40k, considering we are not even close to the 40th millennium by human reckoning, we shall call a fantasy game. But that, in humans, is not a pejorative. 2 players recruit, read, purchase, all of the pieces of their fictional army. Then, they spend hundreds of hours painting them in their army's livery, dutifully painting even facial expressions on even the lowliest grunt. After spending so much time and credits on a single army, they more than likely will build another. Why? Is it addiction? Devotion to their craft? No. Warhammer players are lunatics. There are so many units, with so many rules, with so many modifications. You can choose each man's sidearm for Zaff's sake. It is a game about zone control. Each player has the same budget for their army. So, like chess and checkers, both players are supposed to be on even footing. You cannot run an army of 50 tanks against an army of 50 infantry. That's against the rules. You win by holding the most strategic points. Not even until the end of the game, but scoring by holding, even if you get blasted off by a multi-melter gun or earth-shaker cannons. You get the idea. But that's nothing in complexity to humans' final war game. Go. It sounds simple. Whoever controls the most territory at the end wins. Players alternate playing pieces. Very few rules. If your pieces get surrounded with nowhere to go, they die. You cannot make the same play repeatedly to undo a loss. That's it. This is the most terrifyingly accurate simulation the humans regularly play for recreation. A game AI struggles to beat them in, and is the perfect analogy to planetary invasion. Edit. Did I mention? Humans have been playing Go for nearly 7,000 years! Again, I recommend caution to command, because these are fun to humans.